Just computer. Hello.
Good morning. How are you today?
I am okay. The sun is shining, so I've had my coffee and I had a good sleep, so I'm ready to rock and roll.
It's so wonderful when the sun is out. It's
Oh,
so wonderful.
yeah.
For anyone who hasn't watched us before, we are the Wise and Wicked Crones. I am Peggy Margaret Sample, and
I am Leah Knutson, and we are very pleased to be here today. So we're going to give a fairly informal, fun kind of episode today. We're going to talk about tarot cards and oracle cards, I believe, as well. So I'm going to hand this over to Peggy because she's the expert in this area, and I'm just here to learn along with you. Although I did bring my tarot cards all wrapped up in their protective wrappings.
awesome. Well, I took mine out already. Um, so, so cards are a wonderful way to connect with your inner knowing, with the universe, with God, however you see that. And it's so interesting. People say, how does that work? It's like, it just does. So it's like, take that little leap of faith that it does work. And these are one of the mysteries we don't need to understand. But it's so cool when you work with them cards or other divination tools for any length of time, you start to really, really go, huh, this is very, very helpful. Um, and so tarot cards. So there's two main groups of cards, right? There's tarot cards, which are a very set form of oracle cards. And because tarot cards are helping you get insight, some help you with what might happen in the future, what might have happened in the past, what has happened in the past, so they can give you that kind of insight. Oracle cards also give you insight into what's happening, what could be happening, sort of the what's going on and what's a possible path that can happen because I always say the future when I was working as a psychic medium, the future is always I see it like you see it as many roads going forward with lights shining more brightly on some paths than the other. And that's because we have free will, so we can actually make choices that influence which way we go. Okay.
So,
Um,
sorry to interrupt. So, what you're saying is that you're not seeing one linear path for people. You are seeing branches, tangents, things that could happen. If you go down this road, this might happen in that road, so on and so forth. Because we do have free will in a lot of the situations where we are.
right. So some things are already like it's like that something's going to happen, but how exactly it might happen. So for sometimes I would be told I will seize things so that we can prevent or prepare because you can't prevent everything, but you can prepare for it. So for example, if someone came and they were I was getting a lot of health issues around it. It could around the person, it could be that they could prevent something bad happening by changing their diet, changing their whatever, drug use or smoking or a lot of things like that. You could change, you can prevent, or you can prepare because it's kind of inevitable at this point, or the person is unwilling to make changes. So then you're preparing, if that kind of makes sense.
Hmm.
Some things you just that is what's going to happen, and it's like one of those hard questions. It's like, well, especially around life and death, right? And it's sort of like, well, the most likely outcome I see is this. So, you know, prepare a little bit. However, there's always hope. There's always that sort of miraculous divine intervention, but sometimes that's not what our soul has chosen. And that's a whole different conversation. So let's go.
Okay.
It's
Indeed, that
like,
is a different
it's
conversation.
such
Yeah.
a rabbit hole, right? This
Mhm.
whole stuff. So tarot cards, um, there are like it's a set deck. So there are two different types of cards in tarot. There are major arcana, arcana's mysteries, more controlled by God of the universe, and then there are the minor arcana, which we have more control over those aspects, and those are in four suits that have come down to our four suits of playing cards. Okay. And the only real major arcana card that exists in our modern playing cards is the Joker.
Oh,
which
interesting.
is the Fool,
The
right?
Fool. Right.
Um, so that's kind of, and that's the wild card. And that's the Fool is in tarot number zero. Tarot major cards are numbered 0 through 21. And it's like a circle, a cycle.
Right.
Um, so the Fool is 0. So it's like that pause between chapters, that moment where all possibilities are open and endless, and curiosity and all that stuff. So, um, tarot. Okay, so this is the um. Oh,
Is that the
I've lost the
traditional?
name.
That is the traditional, one of the
This
original
is
traditional decks, is it not?
this is the most traditional deck, which is the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, because they never used to credit the woman
Hmm.
who designed all the art, which has finally been taken over. Pretty sure that's the name. I can't find it, of course, off the top of my head, so it doesn't really matter um, what the name of it is. But yeah, it's Rider-Waite-Smith, I believe. And so this is traditional. So here you have, for example, Ten of Cups. Here you have Ten of Swords. Here you have, let me see, let me find something else. Here's another cups, another swords. Here's a high priestess, which is one of the major arcana. This is the Two of Pentacles, and where's my other one? Where's fire? Let me just, oh, sorry, wands. Yeah, and so here's wands. Okay, so those are just some examples of that deck, and that's the deck I learned on originally. And
I have a really interesting deck here. This is a deck for knitters, crocheters, weavers, and spinners. It is literally called the Yarn Tarot. And yeah, it's so, and I always forget which is which, but it's got, so the Five of Cups, for example, are drop spindles.
oh,
So,
cool.
yeah, exactly. And King of Wands is a crochet hook.
So
Um,
do they name each of the, so the suits are named like
Yeah,
how-
they're named as regular suits. I'm just trying to
oh, they're
find
named as
it.
regular suits.
Yeah, so
Okay.
King of Swords is knitting they're knitting needles.
Cool.
And let me see if I can find. Oh, and here's the devil, the little devil.
Okay. Yep.
And I can't find the ball of oh, but he's got interesting. Look at him. He's got a ball of yarn between his feet. So
That's
this is the deck that I use when my knitting group gets together. This is the one that
awesome.
and it
And
has
there's
a lovely little
amazing.
hook. Yeah.
That's so cute. There's some really there's like cat tarot and dragon tarot and angel tarot and archangel tarot, and there's so many different tarot decks. The one I have worked with for years and years and years is the Mother Peace deck. Um, Noble and Vogel, two women who designed this, and they changed it a little bit to make it less patriarchal. So I love this deck, and it's also a more positive feel towards things. I mean, there's still, negative meanings, but it's just a more hopeful, optimistic deck for me. So we still have wands. Instead of pentacles, we have discs. We still have swords, and we still have cups. Thank you for being so cooperative. They just showed me. And here's like number 5, the Hierophant, which number 5 is traditionally, is it the priest? I think so.
You've
Um,
done readings for me with that deck, which I yeah, really much enjoy. This is another deck I have. It's called the Good Tarot. I bought this strictly because of the artwork, which is spectacular as far as I'm concerned. However, it's quite different. It has, that's the Five of Water. It uses different categories. It has water, it has air. Um, I showed you the High Priestess. Like, look at the magician. Like, isn't he just
that's
lovely?
gorgeous. That's
It is
gorgeous.
absolutely gorgeous. And then there's fire,
Mhm.
and then there is earth. Look at that, how beautiful that one is.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
but
So,
it's a very different deck, especially when it comes to reading what the meanings are. It doesn't give you like up, turned down cards. It
yeah.
just gives you. basically.
That's the card.
Yeah.
Yeah. And where you're talking, the four elements are actually connected to each of the four suits. So
Okay.
wands is fire, water is cups, air is swords, and earth is discs or pentacles.
Okay.
So those are the relations,
Yeah.
okay? So that and that will go across. So the fire wands are all about creativity, spirituality, passion. Air or swords is about mental things more. Um, earth discs, pentacles, that's about the real physical world. And what did I know? Did I do cups? Yeah, cups is water, and that's emotions. So those are kind of like the general categories of the tarot cards. And people might have seen me blowing on my cards. That's just so habitual for me
Mhm.
because when I start, it's ingrained because when I work with my cards, the first thing I do is clear them every time. And for me, clearing is just with intention. Okay, the intention that I'm clearing. You can sage them, you can do all sorts of things, and I do explain how to prepare a deck when you first get it, because you want to like take the old energy off of it and put your energy into it. Um, which is basically you touch each card and you either put it through smoke of incense or sage, or you blow on it with intention to clear it. And so when I'm picking them up, so for example, I've cleared that so I could say, okay, what card will be of most help to people watching today's episode? And I wait till one pops. Ooh, this is Two of Cups, which is the yummy romance card, which is kind of lovely for May and all of that stuff. It's also about like letting the dreams start to happen to that kind of lovely, yummy feeling.
Mhm.
Okay. And two is about balance. Each number has a connection. It's like there's a lot in tarot.
Mhm.
Um, and I just yeah, you know how wonderful they are to help
Exactly.
with.
And I actually have another question to ask you. From you, I've learned like I all I do is shuffle them and wait for the cards to pop. Sometimes one,
Mhm.
sometimes three pops. But do you ever there I've seen that you can lay them out in different configurations. Do you ever use that method?
Absolutely, absolutely. When I do full tarot readings, I
Right,
usually use a variation on the Celtic cross layout,
right, right.
which is you have a card representing the client, the reader, which is called the significator. And some people will choose the card. So a blonde older woman would be like the queen of a sorts. But I just wait and see which one comes up. So there's that. Circumstances around the reading, currents to help it flow more smoothly. At the root of the building, like the root of the reading, like a foundation, influences passing away, influences over top, like the sky, something that may happen in the near future. And if it's a major card, it's more likely to than if it's a minor. Up over here is how you see yourself. Up over here is hopes and fears, which are two sides of the same coin so often. Down here is someone or something in your home or environment. And over here is final outcome. And I would always lay up to three cards looking for a major card. So if there were two minors and then a major, the minors would have an influence on the major outcome. If there's a major right away, boom. And if I get three minors, I know that it's all in progress and everything has. There's no like, oh yes, boom. Okay, so
Okay.
yeah, so and there's many different ones that you can look at. There's past, present, future, three-card draw. Um, I like the just, okay, what's the message I need to hear today?
Mhm.
And I often use oracle cards for that too, because oracle cards, unlike tarot cards, are not set. So they're all, people have created them and they have all different things. So for example, here's one called the Grounded Roots deck that a friend of mine, Sam Black, created. And so number 66 is Sweet Nectar. Number 54 is Olive Branch. Number 77 on tiptoes. So it's a very different oracle deck, but you
Really
can get,
pretty, pretty,
aren't they
pretty.
beautiful?
Oh my
They are,
goodness.
they're so lovely. She
Yeah.
has a new shop opened up in Sauble Beach or Wasaga Beach, one of those. Then there's, oh, it was like I had to like not pick too many card decks to have here. Um, and then two of my other favorites are over there because they're in a big bowl. Um, this is Divine Circus deck, which, oh, I love this one. Um, so here's Red Countess.
Wow.
Here's Supernova. Here's Steampunk Princess. And each of them have so and they all come with a book, right? So that you get to read what each card means and indicates. I love angel cards. I have an angel chatter deck, which is beautiful. My friend Liz Throp is just releasing a new tarot deck, and it's all
Okay.
birds, and
Oh.
it's so pretty. I
Mm.
saw the she's going to have it online as well as a hard deck. And so I pulled three cards on the website that's being, set up to go.
Yeah.
And it was like one of them was doing being true to myself, and the other two were about creative expression and using my voice, which,
Hmm.
as you know, I'm doing a lot of songwriting and
Yeah.
singing. It's like, oh, and writing is like, okay, it's that kind of affirmation.
Right. Right. Excellent. So just to back up a little bit here. So my understanding is that we, as the person shuffling the card, we're the conduit from the message coming from above, and then through the shuffling of the cards, the message
Yes.
is read through the shuffling of the cards.
Yes.
Right. And the cars that are laid. Okay. The cars that are laid. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. Okay. So that's very helpful. So for somebody who wants to start out in practice, just let's say for themselves, I have another deck upstairs, but I don't show it to anybody. It's my private deck. Not that there's anything salacious
No,
about it.
but
Just yeah.
sometimes we hold those things. They're
Yeah.
very personal. They're very
Exactly.
personal.
So is this something you would do every day and or would you do this once a week? Because typically I do it Sunday nights just to to set my week up. And I basically the only question that I ask is tell me what's going to happen in the next 2 weeks or the next week rather. But is there a better question to ask than that?
That's a good question that you're asking. I
Hmm.
always like to know what is it that I most need to know right now.
Okay, what is it that I most need? I'm going to write that down because I think that's
Or if I'm pulling one of the little angel cards, which is in my bedroom. So there's little tiny angel cards from the transformation game that
Mhm.
was created at Findhorn in Scotland. And it's like, what angel is with me today?
Oh, okay.
um, because that's just sort of like what that energy, right?
Mhm.
Who's with me today?
Right.
Uh, and I tend to do that most mornings. So, for example, I might get patience, which, right?
Right.
Or spontaneity, or
So
what,
you're shuffling the deck, waiting for a card to jump, and
these are
then
actually so little
yeah.
that they're in a little, I have them in a little pretty little box. I take the lid
Okay.
off, I put my hands in thinking,
Oh,
and I
okay.
pull one out.
Wow. Okay.
So it's just because they're small enough to do that. Most of my
Okay.
cards, yes, I shuffle and I wait for
Yeah.
one to jump.
These are
Or
these are very hard to shuffle because they're very big. I find that they're big and meaty, but they're so pretty. So
look at the size of these
yeah.
and my hand,
Yeah, that's exactly what these ones are like. Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
I can because I've got that piano player stretch,
Right.
but I will then also sometimes just do them like that because it's um and people say, can you riffle the cards? Well, that's up to you. It's your deck.
Right.
I didn't want people riffling my deck when I was doing readings, and I was letting them shuffle because sometimes I
Yeah.
would do that.
Yeah.
I got away from that because it was too much clearing energy all
Yeah,
the
no, no.
time.
I shuffle for them when we're pulling a card.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so back to the major arcana and the minor arcana. So the major arcana is sorry, it's controlled by what again?
more
but
controlled by God or the universe.
okay. And then the
So
mind,
it's more like big, this is more likely to happen no matter what
right,
you do.
right.
Like,
Okay. Yeah.
this is coming, guys.
And the other ones are more representative of the four different aspects that we kind of we touched on. So there I know there's a lot of confusion and misunderstanding about some of the cards. Like for example, the devil, um,
Mhm.
who is not necessarily a bad dude, and the tower card, which also I've known has led people to freak right out.
And
Um,
the death card. Oh my goodness.
oh yeah, the death card.
Whenever that, okay, so here's my death card. It just came nice and quickly. So death is never, almost never meaning physical death, but it does mean huge, huge change and transformation, and it's coming whether or not you want it.
They're
It's
not.
happening. And the same thing, the tower is also about huge change. Here's my devil. I'll pull that out for now. The tower is also about huge change, but we have a little bit more control over it. And we're also sort of, on mine, I've got this woman on top of the tower reaching up and it's like, bring it on, right? So that the tower, because yes, those can look really scary.
Scary. So I've
Um,
got, yeah. So the other one is the Hanged Man, which is not particularly nice. Um,
So the Hanged Man, here's mine just came up. This is mine, and
okay,
it's the Hanged One, and it's about completely changing your perspective
okay,
and
good to know.
seeing the whole world in a
Yeah.
different way, and it's about initiation. So,
And there's my tower with people fighting
okay,
about it.
can you hold up your hanged man for a minute? So you see there are similarities. See how they
Yeah,
both have a guy
yeah.
hanging on a tree? But see, mine is all sort of in light and embracing it.
But
And
this
it's,
one is too, because look the light around its head, his
well,
head.
there you go.
Yeah.
That's so cool. And look what yours is holding on to as well.
A
The
ball of
red ball
yarn.
of energy.
No, that's a
And
ball of
mine,
yarn. That's a ball of yarn.
oh, a ball of yarn. Well, there you go.
Which
I'm
is
seeing
energy.
energy.
It
And
is
see,
energy.
mine is tied on by a snake, and snakes do
Oh, okay.
transformation.
Mine's
As
tarred up.
in
Mine is yarn.
I just love that's a beautiful deck.
Yeah,
My
and
tower card is completely hiding on me.
here's the
That's,
death card, and
oh,
it's
here
got
it is.
this is the death card. It's got a woven tapestry, and the death
Wow.
it's on a
Yeah.
horse. I
And
can
again, death is change. Here's my tower. And you see how the woman, it's like there's a total solar eclipse and everyone's running around going,
right.
oh no, what shall we do? And there she is on cup. We're like, bring it on. So that's also huge change. Here's my devil. And so with the devil
Okay.
card, it's kind of like what people forget is power structures depend on the people below them
Right.
agreeing to it, as we can see at different parts of the world right now.
Ooh,
And sometimes what it takes is someone going, no, not going to be part of this. And the more people do that, then it can topple the devil. And sometimes it's like, so where are you on that structure? Are you one of the people going along in this situation? Are you one of the people going, no, I've got to start creating a disruption? Or are you the person on top going, no, it's got to be my way. It's got to be this way. So it's a very nuanced card. It can be a nuanced card. It can
okay.
also be someone real bossy in your
Here's
space.
my Empress, which I think is really interesting because she's got a basket or a yarn bag, a bag of yarn.
Neat,
And
neat.
there's, sorry, say that
This
again. Oh, wheat. Okay, same
neat.
thing.
I said neat.
Neat.
Like this is my star card,
Okay.
which is one of my favorites because the tagline on it is "Let my worship be in the heart that rejoices." And I
Oh,
just think that's so beautiful.
that is
So,
beautiful.
yeah.
Um,
You
here's
can
the
tell we
lovely
love our cards.
thing.
Ooh,
There's
nice lovers.
Adam and Eve, which I think is really interesting,
Yeah. Yeah.
obviously. And they have different skin tone. Oh, there's a snake in there. They have different skin tones, which I think is really good.
I
Whoa.
love that about that deck. That's the same as my deck. You'll notice like it's got all different
Yeah.
colors of. people have all different shades and colors and
The one I want to show you that is particularly meaningful to me is the Fool card. And all the in both two of the decks that I have, the Fool card looks like this. And this always reminds me of Bob. Not that Bob was a fool, he was absolutely not a fool. But Bob was always obsessed with getting the perfect work bag because he was a professor and had to carry a lot of stuff back and forth. And the Fool always has a bag. And the Fool that I have
yes.
upstairs actually looks more like Bob. You'll notice the little white dog. Well, our his favorite dog and our dog that passed a year before him, who he was just devastated beyond belief over, was Nella.
Mm,
And Nella looked, well, she was white. So whenever I see the Fool cards with the Fool carrying his bag and the little white dog, I always think about Bob.
yeah. Yeah. It's funny that so in mine we have a naked child with the bag and the animals, but naked and upside down.
Okay, and
Because
no dog.
trying it a different way. Well, it's got the tiger and the
Yeah.
crocodile. It's
Okay.
just got different animals. So the fool always has the animals, right? So it's just, but I agree that when you pulled that up, it made me think of him too. So
And here's the strength card, which I think is really funny because there's a ball of yarn and a cat, and knitters are often accused of being cat people, which is nonsense because I have two dogs, as you can see in the background there. Um, so I think that's quite interesting. And then the last one I'm going to show you is the magician. And this magician has a crochet hook and a ball of yarn. Yeah, and a
yeah,
tapestry
yeah. And
bottom.
honestly, when people, if you want to get a deck of cards, you can. You can go online and Google tarot card decks.
Mm,
You can go to a bookstore. You can look up on your, certain people have their own decks more and more as it becomes easier to self-publish decks. More and more
mhm.
light workers are putting out their own decks. Um, I started playing with AI one time, and oh, I guess where did I put my phone? I had it. And I was doing uh, tarot cards, major arcana cards, based on what you know about me. What can you find? I'll just see if I can pull one up because uh, when who knows that I was doing it. You can see how no mystic.
So I guess the best way, while you're doing that, the best way to get to know the cards and to become familiar with them is simply by using them.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and then reading whatever the little guidebook offers you in terms of information. I think that's really the best place to start. Uh,
Yeah.
and it's you know it's astonishing to me after having done some readings for people, and I don't have any particular skill or whatsoever, is that how accurate some of the stuff is. Even one friend who was not sharing with us something, a major sort of upheaval in her family, um, and the card I pulled for her talked about that, and she didn't disclose it to me till some time later. So it was kind of well, it was very prophetic, actually what was going on. Um, so I think that's
I
that's really helpful, really helpful.
It is, and when I was doing readings for people, because I was mostly, tuning in, and then the cards were just kind of like extra windows. But sometimes I'd be having this reading, and it would be all like positive, happy, and I'd look at this card and I'd go, "Okay, something's going on that they have blocked me from so effectively that I'm not picking it up." But when I would go to that card and kind of open it up, it would be like, well, yeah. And then it was like you'd get into a whole different place because the card would tell me something was up that um I don't know if this will pick up.
Oh, oh yeah. Oh, that, that is so cool.
Isn't that neat?
That is
So
so cool.
it called me the voice between worlds.
Ooh, that is
Um
wonderful. I love
I
that.
I
Oh,
loved it too. I loved it too.
I
And then
love
I
that.
showed the other authors on my book, and they all wanted me to do theirs too. So I had fun. It was,
Oh,
yeah.
that is beautiful. I love that. The other thing I was going to share with everybody is if you want a little bit interesting clip on the history of tarot cards,
Mhm.
go to the YouTube channel, the Royal Victorian Albert Museum in London. I watched a really fascinating, I think it was about 15 or 20 minutes long segment with historians or conservators or whatever they were museum people explaining, showing some of the very old tarot card decks and how they were used and so on and so forth. I thought it was absolutely fascinating. I've watched that particular clip at least twice.
Yeah, and I mean the history of tarot cards are a little bit it's a little debated because some people believe that they came originally from India and the Romani brought them around, and then other people say, well, no, actually, what about the French court? So there's all different theories, but they all kind of coalesce and into the decks that we're more familiar with around the Victorian, and right before that. Who was
That's
that right
before
before
that.
that?
It was probably more like I'm thinking the late 1700s, early 1800s. Some of the
Yes.
cards were used just merely as a parlor game for the ways, women
Yes.
would amuse themselves, the rich women would amuse themselves in the afternoon.
Hmm.
And so others were definitely more serious. Is there not
Yep.
an Egyptian, or is this just in my head for some reason? Is there not an Egyptian link, like an early Egyptian, like the pharaohs? Linked to tarot cards, or is that just something that my brain came up with that's has no basis in reality
I
whatsoever?
don't know. I don't know the answer to that. We'd
Okay.
have to look it up. It's
Okay.
not something that's popping into my brain, but
Right.
as I say, there's so many variations, and
Yeah.
there are Egyptian themed tarot cards
Oh,
now too.
okay.
So,
Yeah. As much as I hate to promote Amazon, there is a plethora of cards available on there, which is where I got the first one. This one actually came to me recommendation from a knitting podcaster whom I don't think is podcasting anymore, who is actually studying astrology as a profession. And she was the first one to show me those cards or show us those cards, which I thought I
mm,
immediately had to get my hands on them because I thought they were
yep.
absolutely fascinating. So I think we're kind of coming up to the end of things here. So
Yeah.
how would you like to wrap this up? Do you want to pull a card for me, or do you want me to pull a card for you? Or
Sure. Why don't you pull one for me and I'll pull one for you?
okay, I'll do it. I'll shuffle up the knitter's deck for you here. Are you going to ask me a question, or you just want to leave it to the
No, the card,
fate?
what I need most to know right now.
You need to know right now. I need to know when it's getting warm enough to put my flowers out. This may take a while. Sometimes my cards take forever to jump. Sometimes
They're
they,
allowed to do that
yeah, I
because
know. I want to know when the weather's.
no, I've already pulled your card. You don't get to ask. You
Oh,
just
okay, okay, okay. Okay. Well, why don't you go ahead and tell me my card while I'm still shuffling for you?
no, let you like
All right.
just
Oh,
let it
oh,
there
two
you go.
two of them. They flew.
So I love when that happens. It's like, okay, you really better listen to this one, kid. All right,
Oh
you go first because they were so dramatic.
my God. They just like flew across the room. Okay, so the first one is the Queen of Wands.
Okay,
And the second one is the Page of Cups. Do you want me to read what it says about the Queen of Wands?
sure.
Um, all right. You probably know what it means anyways. But for our listeners, where we go? Queen, oh, not swords. Queen of Wands, creativity, focus, inspiration. You will find inspiration from a hardworking and creative woman. Express your passions. You will feel energized to achieve your most desired goals. Your relationships of all kinds, old and new, will benefit from your honesty and loyalty. Oh, that's a nice card.
It is a nice card.
And the other one is the Page of Cups. Nine of
I'll
Cups.
just mention in my Mother Piece deck, they don't have the court cards are different. Instead of kings, they have shaman. Instead of queens, they have priestesses. Instead of knights, they have sons, and instead of pages, they have daughters. So,
Yeah. But it's all in the realm of the
yep,
same,
exactly,
right?
matching up. So that one is the Page of Cups,
Page
right?
of Cups, yeah. Creativity, love. Remain young at heart and you enjoy good company. Yeah. Oh, as you enjoy good company and fun. A new love may soon enter your life, but don't let that overshadow your responsibilities or goals.
Boo.
Remain open to new possibilities while striving to balance work and pleasure. But a new love doesn't necessarily mean a person. It can simply be a
No,
hobby, a
it could
dog,
be. Yeah, yeah.
a bird.
So many different things.
Exactly,
And
exactly.
the card for you is Eight of Wands. And Eight of Wands is about having so many ideas. It's hugely creative, and it's like you're never going to run out of ideas. So put them out there, put them out there, put them out there,
Mhm,
because you see, there's no quiver. They're
mhm,
just like pulling them out of the air and
mhm.
sending them out there. And I know you are an ideas woman. And
I do. My brain, I am also the notebook queen. I got notebook here, I got another notebook there, all for different things. So I am always,
so
I have a, what do you call it? A monkey mind. It never stops. It's always coming
So
up with ideas.
keep doing that.
Yeah.
Keep doing that because you've got such brilliant creativity and limitless ideas and invention. That's the other thing that can,
Hmm.
you know, if you have inventions that are percolating in your head.
Well, I have some creative ideas that are percolating in my head.
Yeah.
Interesting factoid too is eight is my favorite number.
Ah,
There you go.
there you go. There you go.
Oh, well,
Well, this
thank
was
you.
fun.
It was fun. It's a feel good kind of a thing because I really love tarot cards and I think they're just such a beautiful many little works of art and also inspiration and
Yeah.
thought
Yeah.
and hope really there
Yeah.
and in these days we need a lot of hope these days. So
Oh, we do.
do
We
indeed.
do. We do. Let's disrupt that. Let's continue to disrupt the devil who's causing trouble.
Exactly, exactly. And you like I always say, there are people who make things happen, there are people who watch things happen, and there are people who wondered what happened. So you got to figure
Mm,
out who you are in one of those three categories. What is it that's part of your mission and your mandate and your personal values? What keeps you going? What
yeah.
gets you up in the morning and what keeps you up at
Hope
night?
and keep hoping. Hoping.
Hope,
All
hope.
right.
Okay, my friend. Thank you so
I will.
much.
And thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe and share with your friends because we would love to just let's see where this can all go.
And send us your ideas too. What would you like us to talk
Yes,
about? Wow.
indeed.
Okay.
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 Ciao for now.
Bye.